This adventure is a road trip to Key West, Florida, and camping at KOA camp at Sugarloaf Key. In addition, doing some of those fun tourist things in Key West, Florida. Our travel trailer was hooked up to the truck and we were ready to go, so we left at 5 a.m. We drove over the Sunshine Skyway Bridge at 6 a.m. By 7 a.m. we were already at Punta Gorda. At 8 a.m. we had already reached our first designated stop at exit 131 Daniels Parkway. Everybody can use the restroom, stretch a little bit. I can check on the trailer tires and get fuel. We are now entering the toll portion of I-75, also known as Alligator Alley, which takes you from the west coast to the east coast of Florida through the Florida Everglades. This is a nice, easy drive. You get through the toll, you set your speed, and just sit back and relax, and before you know it, you're at the other side of Alligator Alley. Question for those traveling to Key West is to take exit 23 and travel US 27 south towards Miami. I encountered very little traffic. The speed limit is 65 miles an hour. Definitely less hectic than going on the interstate. Continue south on US 27 to the intersection of Florida 997. Then head south on Florida 997 to Florida City. It looks like this construction will be completed by the end of year 2023. I found this to be a very relaxing drive pulling the trailer. Florida 997 has a speed limit between 55 miles per hour and 30 miles per hour. Florida 997 has traffic lights and a reduced speed of 30 miles an hour in certain areas. However, I've been on the interstate in stop and go traffic, and I still believe this is a better route to go to the Florida Keys. Driving through Florida City was easy, and there was very little traffic. I do not like making a lot of turns in a small city, pulling my 30-foot travel trailer, but this is a straight drive through Florida City. It is a straight drive through town with only a few traffic lights. As you've seen from this video, it's an easy drive through Florida City, and soon we'll be connecting to US Highway 1 and traveling towards Key West, Florida. Continue through Florida City on Florida 997 till you pick up the junction of US 1 to Key West, Florida. This is a very easy right-hand turn transition onto US 1. After leaving Florida City, you only have about 30 miles and you will be in Key Largo. You will recognize the blue concrete barrier wall if you've been to Key West before. US 1 follows part of the old alignment of the railroad from St. Augustine, Florida to Key West, Florida. The alignment of the old railroad, the railroad bridges, the railroad trestles, all of them I find very interesting. There is 113 miles of roadway from Key Largo to Key West and 42 bridges, but I am not going to show you a picture of all 42 bridges. Just because I do not show you the picture of every bridge from here to Key West doesn't mean I didn't take photographs. The historical 7-mile bridge. Oh yes, I took a lot of photographs, but I'm only sharing a few. The Florida Keys has a lot of history. Henry Flagler. The railroad from St. Augustine to Key West. The overseas highway being US 1 along the old railroad from Key Largo to Key West. I sailed under the 7-mile bridge several times here at Mosier Channel on our trip from Pinellas County down to Key West and out to Dry Tortugas. YouTube contains a lot of information on the history of the railroad, the overseas highway, and the Florida Keys. Veterans Memorial Beach is on the south end of the 7-mile bridge on the Atlantic Ocean side. No RVs, campers, or trailers are allowed. There is very limited space for turning around. This is a very pretty area and it looks like a great place to swim and snorkel. While we were here, we enjoyed doing a little wading in the shallow water. Bahia Honda State Park at Overseas Highway marker number 37 is another location we'd like to do some RV camping. This railroad trestle, built somewhere between 1906 and 1912, still stands, having endured many years of storms and weather conditions of the Florida Keys. Another great memory to be here in the Florida Keys with my nieces. We have arrived at Sugarloaf Key and the location of the KOA resort where we are staying with our RV. Full hookup with 30 and 50 amp. We have set up our RV site and now it's time to relax. Nothing like a good cup of coffee. Another way to relax is to head to the swimming pool, where you can do a few laps in the pool, hang on the side and visit with each other, sit in the hot tub, grab a chair, and order something from the bar and grill. We have arrived in Key West, Florida, and we look forward to taking pictures, going to the beach, and touring other things here at Key West. Visit Mallory Square, go up to the top of the lighthouse, go by and get a picture at the southernmost point of the Continental USA. So much to do. As we drove along the Atlantic coastline of Key West, we discussed how the last time we were here, we took the seaplane from the airport over to Dry Tortugas, but you'll have to see that on that video. As we drove down the historical streets of Key West, Florida, I saw the lighthouse off to my left and remarked, "I like climbing that lighthouse. We're going to do that while we're here in Key West." We have been driving along US 1 since we left Florida City at the upper part of the Keys, so we decided we would drive all the way to the beginning of US 1 here in Key West, Florida. We passed a sign pointing to the historical Fort Zachary Taylor. I'm looking forward to doing that tour while we're here in Key West. This grocery store and bar has been here since 1890. During World War II, this corner bar was a place for submarine sailors. Back then it was known as the Brown Derby Bar. In 1970, it was renamed the Green Parrot Bar. We will be taking the Conch train tour while we are here in Key West. Here we are at the end of US 1, mile marker 0, and across the street, the beginning of US 1, mile marker 0. A concrete marker shaped like a navigational buoy sits at the most southernmost point of the continental USA. I suggest to avoid a long line that you come early morning or sometime in the afternoon. As your turn approaches, offer to take someone else's picture. In return, they can take your picture so that the entire group is in the photograph. You know, Granddaddy loves the lighthouses, and here we are in Key West, and I wanted to go to the top of that lighthouse. I've been there before, but they're painting it, so I can't go to the top. When I found out I could not climb to the top of the lighthouse, do you know what Granddaddy said? "Are you kidding me?" We're going to park in the Mallory Square parking lot and do the Conch train tour. I highly recommend this tour. They have put a lot of information together about the history of Key West. It is an excellent tour. To access Key West Beach, you go through the entrance here at Fort Zachary Taylor State Park. With one small fee, you get both the beach and to be able to go inside the fort. This is a very nice beach with areas to sunbathe. There is a good group of people out swimming and snorkeling. Areas to picnic with a picnic table and a grill. This signpost points to a lot of great locations. All of us are making some great memories together. It's fun walking the beach here at Key West. There are several things that give me comfort in life. To name a few would be coffee, camera, food, and the most important, my wife Lynn, my best friend. The Fury, which is behind you, is what we're doing tonight for a sunset cruise. The Fury is a glass-bottom catamaran, went about 7 miles offshore to a reef. The guide was very well informed and gave us a lot of information about the reef, its structure, and the marine life around it.
Questions, I promise they're not that hard. We'll talk about where we brought you, how far, what's around us besides water, and then we'll go ahead and dive on into the ecosystem that's below us.
We chose the evening glass-bottom boat tour so that we would be able to enjoy the sunset from aboard the boat. While in Key West, we enjoyed eating at several restaurants. This is one of our favorites. It's located at the marina. Not everyone likes seafood, but everyone loved the key lime pie. One evening, we drove from Sugarloaf Key back to Marathon so that we could have dinner at Sparky's Landing. We really enjoyed their seafood and drinks. Our vacation time here at Key West has come to an end. We have been to Mallory Square. We've walked the shops of Key West. We've taken the tours. But now it's time to leave and head back home. Our trip back will begin at mile marker 0 here at US 1. We'll cross over those 42 bridges that takes us back to Florida City. We had a great time here in Key West. We walked down Duval Street, went to a lot of the shops, bought a few souvenirs. Our adventures on the seaplane trip from Key West to Dry Tortugas in Fort Jefferson, the tour of Fort Zachary Taylor, and the Key West Lighthouse can be seen in previous videos. At Florida City, we will turn off US 1 and turn on to Florida 997. Florida 997 through Florida City, once again, is a very easy drive with very little traffic. We will continue on Florida 997 till we reach the junction of US 41 Tamiami Trail. US 41 Tamiami Trail is a very scenic way to get from Miami back to Tampa. As you drive along the canal, be on the lookout for alligators sunbathing along the banks. Everglades Airboat Tours, the Oasis Visitor Center at milepost 55, where we can use the restroom, go inside the visitor center, and maybe see a few alligators under the boardwalk. Off in the distance, you can see a rainstorm recharging the Everglades ecosystem. There are several locations for you to enjoy an airboat tour of the Florida Everglades. We have stopped at the Oasis Visitor Center several times. One of our stops, we saw 6 big alligators laying in the canal. At milepost 72, we will stop at the United States Postal Service smallest post office, and I'll mail out a few postcards to my grandchildren. I mail postcards to family members like grandchildren, nieces, and nephews. And here's a post office that's probably smaller than most of their bedrooms. Well, that was a fabulous vacation camping at KOA at Sugarloaf Key and visiting Key West, Florida. Thank you for watching Adventures of Charlie and Lynn, our YouTube channel.